June 1944, the largest armada in history landed on the beaches of Normandy. Allied troops flooded the shores. Among them was a new weapon. The M4 Sherman tank rolled onto the beaches. The Sherman was America's mechanized warrior. It was a symbol of American might. The Sherman was crucial in the fight against Germany. It was a reliable and versatile tank. The Sherman would become a workhorse for the Allied forces. Over 50,000 Shermans were produced during the war. This made it the most produced American tank in history. The Sherman saw action in every theater of World War II. The Sherman's impact was significant. It helped to turn the tide of the war. The tank played a vital role in the eventual Allied victory. The M4 Sherman tank is an American icon. It is a symbol of American industrial might and military prowess. The Sherman is also a source of great debate. Its performance in World War II has been scrutinized and debated for decades. Some hail it as a war-winning weapon. Others condemn it as inadequate and costly. The Sherman's reputation is a study in contrasts. It was lauded for its reliability and ease of maintenance. Yet it was also criticized for its vulnerability to enemy fire. The Sherman's firepower was initially deemed sufficient, however it was later outmatched by heavier German tanks. The Sherman's legacy is further complicated by its global reach. Thousands of Shermans were supplied to Allied nations. The tank continued to see action in conflicts around the world. It was a familiar sight on battlefields long after World War II ended. This widespread use only amplified the debates surrounding its capabilities. Despite the controversy, one thing is certain. The M4 Sherman tank played a pivotal role in World War II. Its impact on the course of the war is undeniable. The Sherman story is a reminder that warfare is a complex and evolving enterprise. Weapons are often judged by a multitude of factors, not just their technical specifications. The M4 Sherman tank has inspired countless stories. Tales of its exploits, both real and imagined, have circulated for decades. Some of these stories are heroic, others are tragic. All of them contribute to the Sherman's enduring legend. One of the most persistent myths surrounding the Sherman is its nickname, Ronson. This moniker, a reference to a popular brand of cigarette lighter, alludes to the tank's alleged tendency to burst into flames when hit. While it's true that early Sherman models suffered from ammunition storage vulnerabilities, this issue was largely addressed in later versions. The Ronson nickname, while catchy, is an oversimplification of a more nuanced reality. It ignores the Sherman's overall survivability rate, which was comparable to, if not better than, other tanks of its era. Another common myth pits the Sherman against German tanks like the Tiger and Panther in a simplistic one-on-one comparison. This ignores the realities of armored warfare, where tanks rarely fought in isolation. The Sherman was designed to operate as part of a combined arms team, supported by infantry, artillery, and air power. Its strengths lay in its reliability, mobility, and ease of production, allowing the Allies to field vast numbers of Shermans, overwhelming German forces through sheer volume. The M4 Sherman tank story is a tapestry woven from fact, fiction, and the subjective experiences of those who encountered it. Separating myth from reality requires careful examination of historical evidence and a willingness to challenge long-held assumptions. Only then can we truly appreciate the Sherman's place in history, not as a flawless weapon or a death trap, but as a complex and ultimately successful tool of war. To truly comprehend the significance of the M4 Sherman, we must first journey back to the nascent stages of America's tank development program. In the years leading up to World War II, the United States Army possessed limited experience with tanks compared to their European counterparts. The nation's focus had been elsewhere, on matters of domestic concern, and a prevailing isolationist sentiment. The Great War, as it was then known, had showcased the tank's potential, but its full impact on warfare was still being grasped by many within the American military establishment. As a result, the development of armored vehicles proceeded at a measured pace, often lagging behind the innovations seen in Europe. The interwar years saw the U.S. Army experimenting with various tank designs, but production numbers remained relatively small. Tanks were seen as specialized tools, their role in future conflicts not yet fully defined. The emphasis was on developing sound doctrines and training skilled crews rather than amassing large armored formations. However, the outbreak of war in Europe in 1939 served as a stark wake-up call. The German Blitzkrieg, with its lightning-fast advances spearheaded by panzer divisions, demonstrated the devastating potential of armored warfare. The United States, facing the growing possibility of being drawn into the conflict, had to play catch-up. The need for a modern, mass-producible tank became increasingly apparent. Section 2. The M3 Lee Grant, a Flawed Precursor. As the storm clouds of war gathered, the U.S. Army found itself in dire need of a medium tank capable of matching the German panzers. The answer, at least in the interim, came in the form of the M3 Lee Grant tank. Named after two prominent figures from the American Civil War, the M3 was a stopgap measure, a design born out of necessity rather than ideal circumstances. The M3 was a rather ungainly-looking vehicle characterized by its high silhouette and unusual gun placement. Its main armament, a 75mm cannon, was housed in a sponson mounted on the right side of the hull, limiting its traverse. A smaller 37mm gun was located in a turret on top, providing some degree of all-around fire. While innovative for its time, the M3 suffered from a critical flaw: its main gun's limited arc of fire. The side-mounted sponson meant that the tank had to expose a significant portion of its hull in order to bring its primary weapon to bear. This made the M3 vulnerable to enemy fire, particularly in the fluid, fast-paced engagements that characterized tank warfare on the Eastern Front. Despite its shortcomings, the M3 played a crucial role in the early years of World War II. It was rushed into production and supplied to both American and British forces, providing much-needed firepower in the deserts of North Africa. The British, in particular, were instrumental in identifying the M3's flaws and pushing for a more effective design. Their experiences in the North African campaign would prove invaluable in shaping the development of the M4 Sherman. Section 3. A Call for a New Design. The M3 Lee Grant, for all its contributions to the Allied war effort, was ultimately a stopgap measure. Its limitations, particularly its awkward gun placement and high profile, were readily apparent. As early as 1940, even as the M3 was entering production, the U.S. Army Ordnance Department recognized the need for a new medium tank design, one that would address the shortcomings of its predecessor and provide American tankers with a weapon capable of going toe-to-toe with the best German panzers. The call for a new tank design coincided with a period of intense industrial mobilization in the United States. The nation was transitioning from a peacetime economy to a war footing, its factories gearing up to produce the weapons and equipment needed to fight a global conflict. The Ordnance Department, faced with the daunting task of equipping a rapidly expanding army, issued a set of requirements for the new tank. It had to be reliable, easy to maintain, and, crucially, capable of being mass-produced using existing industrial infrastructure. Speed and firepower were also paramount considerations, as was the ability to operate effectively on a variety of terrains. This emphasis on mass production and practicality would come to define the M4 Sherman. Unlike the Germans, who often favored complex designs and heavy armor, the Americans prioritized ease of manufacture and logistical simplicity. This approach, while sometimes criticized for sacrificing quality for quantity, would prove crucial in allowing the United States to overwhelm its enemies with sheer industrial might. Section 4. The Birth of the M4 Sherman. In the crucible of war, a new champion emerged from America's industrial heartland. Christened the M4 Sherman, after the famed Civil War General William Tecumseh Sherman, this new tank represented a departure from its predecessor, the M3 Lee Grant. Gone was the ungainly side-mounted gun, replaced by a fully rotating turret armed with a powerful 75mm cannon. The Sherman was, in many ways, the embodiment of American pragmatism, a tank designed not for individual technical superiority, but for mass production, ease of maintenance, and battlefield effectiveness. The Sherman's design philosophy was rooted in practicality. It was to be a tank that could be built quickly and in large numbers, utilizing existing manufacturing capacity. Standardization of parts was paramount, allowing for interchangeable components and simplified logistics. This focus on mass production would prove crucial in the years to come. as the United States ramped up its war effort to an unprecedented scale. The Sherman's development was a testament to American ingenuity and industrial might. The design team, working under immense pressure, drew upon the lessons learned from the M3 and incorporated feedback from British tank crews who had first-hand experience battling German panzers. The result was a tank that, while not without its flaws, would prove to be a reliable and versatile weapon in the hands of Allied tankers. The Sherman was not designed to be a one-on-one tank killer, like some of its heavier German counterparts. Instead, it was conceived as a multi-role platform, capable of supporting infantry advances, exploiting breakthroughs, and engaging in mobile warfare. As the United States fully committed itself to the Allied war effort, the nation's industrial might transformed into a veritable arsenal of democracy. Factories that once produced automobiles, refrigerators, and farm equipment were retooled to churn out tanks, planes, and ships at an astonishing rate. The M4 Sherman, with its emphasis on mass production and standardized parts, was uniquely suited to this unprecedented industrial mobilization. The Sherman's production was a testament to American ingenuity and the power of collaboration. 10 different companies across the United States were contracted to build the tank, including automotive giants like Ford and Chrysler, as well as railway equipment manufacturers like Baldwin Locomotive Works. This decentralized production network ensured a steady supply of Shermans, even if one factory experienced delays or disruptions. Assembly lines, honed to efficiency, became a blur of activity as workers, many of them women who had entered the workforce for the first time, labored tirelessly to meet the demands of the war. The sheer scale of production was staggering. At its peak, a new Sherman tank rolled off the assembly line every 30 minutes, a testament to the dedication and skill of the American workforce. The Sherman's impact on the war cannot be overstated. By the end of the conflict, over 50,000 M4 Shermans had been produced, more than any other American tank in history. These steel workhorses were shipped to battlefields across the globe, from the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of the Pacific, playing a crucial role in the eventual Allied victory. The M4 Sherman story is inseparable from the story of American industrial might during World War II. The tank's mass production was a testament to the nation's ability to mobilize its resources and adapt its manufacturing capacity to the demands of total war. The Sherman was, in many ways, the embodiment of the arsenal of democracy, a symbol of American determination to defeat fascism. The United States' entry into the war unleashed a torrent of industrial activity. Factories, operating around the clock, churned out weapons and equipment at an unprecedented rate. The nation's workforce, bolstered by women and minorities who filled the void left by men fighting overseas, rose to the challenge, displaying remarkable dedication and resilience. The Sherman's production was a logistical marvel. Raw materials, sourced from across the country, flowed into factories, where they were transformed into tanks at an astonishing pace. The finished products were then transported by rail, road, and sea to ports, where they were loaded onto ships bound for battlefields around the globe. This massive logistical undertaking was made possible by a combination of factors, including the United States' vast natural resources, its well-developed transportation infrastructure, and, perhaps most importantly, the ingenuity and determination of its people. The Sherman's production was a collective effort, a testament to the power of a nation united in a common cause. The M4. Sherman was more than just a weapon. It was a symbol of American resilience, ingenuity, and democratic ideals. It represented the collective effort of a nation mobilized for war, a testament to the power of mass production and the unwavering spirit of the American people. Unlike some of its more sophisticated counterparts, the Sherman was a tank designed for the common soldier, a workhorse that could be easily maintained and operated even in the most challenging conditions. Its ease of operation and maintenance endeared the Sherman to its crews. Its relatively spacious interior, compared to some other tanks of the era, provided a modicum of comfort for tankers who often spent hours on end buttoned up inside their steel cocoons. The Sherman's reputation for reliability, while sometimes exaggerated, was not entirely unfounded. Its robust design and standardized parts made it relatively easy to repair, even in the field. The Sherman's adaptability was another factor that contributed to its popularity. Its chassis served as the basis for a wide variety of specialized vehicles, including tank destroyers, self-propelled artillery, and recovery vehicles. This versatility made the Sherman an invaluable asset to Allied commanders, who could deploy it in a wide range of tactical situations. The M4 Sherman, while not without its flaws, was a tank that embodied the spirit of its namesake, General William Tecumseh Sherman, a man known for his pragmatism, determination, and unwavering belief in the Union cause. The Sherman tank, like the general for whom it was named, played a pivotal role in securing victory for the Allied cause, cementing its place in the annals of military history. The M4. Sherman, often overshadowed by its German counterparts in popular imagination, was, in its own right, a marvel of wartime engineering and a testament to American industrial ingenuity. It wasn't designed to be a hulking behemoth, relying solely on brute force. Rather, it was conceived as a balanced and adaptable platform, capable of fulfilling a variety of roles on the battlefield. Standing approximately 9 feet tall and weighing in at around 33 tons, the Sherman fell squarely into the category of a medium tank by World War II standards. Its true strength, however, lay not in its size or weight, but in its versatility and adaptability, qualities that would prove crucial in the fluid and unpredictable nature of armored warfare. The Sherman's design was a careful balancing act, a compromise between firepower, protection, and mobility, the three pillars of tank design often referred to as the Iron Triangle. To achieve this balance, the Sherman's designers prioritized practicality and ease of production, ensuring that the tank could be manufactured in vast numbers and maintained even in the field. Its relatively simple design, while sometimes criticized for sacrificing sophistication, was a key factor in its success. The Sherman was, above all, a tank built for the realities of war, a workhorse that could be relied upon to get the job done, even under the most demanding circumstances. At the heart of the M4 Sherman, propelling it across battlefields from the sands of North Africa to the hedgerows of Normandy, was its engine, a testament to American automotive engineering. Early Sherman models were powered by the Continental R975 radial aircraft engine, a 9-cylinder air-cooled behemoth capable of churning out an impressive 400 horsepower. This powerful engine, originally designed for aircraft, gave the Sherman a respectable top speed of around 25 miles per hour on roads and a decent turn of pace even on rough terrain. The choice of a radial aircraft engine was an interesting one, driven in part by the availability of these engines as the United States ramped up its aircraft production. While powerful and reliable, radial engines were also relatively large and heavy, factors that would influence the Sherman's overall design and layout. As the war progressed and production demands increased, the Sherman's engine compartment became a testament to American adaptability. Later models incorporated a variety of power plants, including the Ford GAA-58, a liquid-cooled engine known for its smooth power delivery, and the GM twin diesel, a more fuel-efficient option that proved particularly well-suited to the long logistical lines of the European theater. This flexible approach to engine selection was a key factor in the Sherman's success, allowing production to continue even when certain components were in short supply. The Sherman's ability to adapt to changing circumstances, a hallmark of its design, would serve it well throughout the war. Protecting the Sherman's 5-man crew from the perils of the battlefield was its armor, a carefully crafted shell of steel designed to deflect enemy fire and increase the tank's survivability. The Sherman's armor was a product of its time, a balance between protection and weight, influenced by the need for mass production and the evolving nature of anti-tank weaponry. The hull and turret were constructed from a combination of cast and welded homogeneous steel armor, varying in thickness from a relatively thin ½ inch to a more substantial 2½ inches at its thickest points. The armor layout was designed to maximize protection against the most common threats, with the thickest armor concentrated on the front of the hull and turret, where the tank was most likely to be hit in combat. The upper front hull armor was sloped at a 56-degree angle, a design feature intended to increase its effective thickness by deflecting incoming projectiles upwards. This sloping effect, based on the principles of geometry and ballistics, was a common feature of many World War II tanks, allowing for increased protection without a significant increase in weight. However, the Sherman's side armor remained relatively flat and, at its thinnest points, vulnerable to even some of the lighter anti-tank weapons fielded by the Germans. This vulnerability, a consequence of the need to balance protection with mobility and ease of production, would become a point of contention throughout the Sherman's service life. Section 4. The Sherman's Achilles heel. Vulnerability to fire. While the M4 Sherman's armor provided a reasonable degree of protection against small arms fire and shrapnel, it was not without its weaknesses. One of the most significant of these was the tank's vulnerability to fire, a consequence of its early ammunition storage design. In the initial Sherman models, ammunition was stored in sponsons along the sides of the hull, a layout that, while convenient for reloading, proved to be a fatal flaw when these sponsons were penetrated by enemy fire. The impact of armor-piercing rounds or high-explosive shells could ignite the tightly packed ammunition, often resulting in a catastrophic explosion that could engulf the entire tank in flames, leaving the crew little chance of escape. This vulnerability to fire, a grim reality of early Sherman models, earned the tank the unfortunate nickname Ronson, after the popular brand of cigarette lighter known for its reliable ignition. The Ronson moniker, while undoubtedly catchy, was an oversimplification of a more complex issue, but it highlighted a vulnerability that cost the lives of many Sherman tankers. Recognizing the severity of the problem, American engineers worked diligently to address the Sherman's ammunition storage issue. Later models incorporated a feature known as wet storage, where the ammunition was stored in compartments surrounded by water jackets. These jackets, designed to absorb the heat and energy of an impact, significantly reduced the risk of ammunition fires, greatly improving the Sherman's survivability rate. Section 5. Firepower, the Sherman's bark and bite. The M4. Sherman's primary purpose on the battlefield was to engage and destroy enemy targets, and in this regard, its firepower was a critical factor in its effectiveness. The Sherman's main armament, initially a 75mm M3 gun, was a capable weapon for its time, capable of engaging a variety of targets, from enemy infantry to fortifications and lighter armored vehicles. The 75mm gun, known for its accuracy and reliability, was particularly well suited to the Sherman's intended role as an infantry support tank, providing mobile firepower to aid advancing troops and suppress enemy strongpoints. However, as the war progressed, and the Sherman encountered increasingly heavily armored German tanks like the Panther and Tiger, the limitations of its 75mm gun became apparent. To address this challenge, later Sherman variants were armed with more powerful guns, including the 76mm gun, and in the case of the British Firefly variant, the formidable 17-pounder anti-tank gun. The 76mm gun, with its higher muzzle velocity and improved armor penetration capabilities, significantly enhanced the Sherman's ability to engage heavier German tanks at longer ranges. The British 17-pounder, renowned for its exceptional armor penetration, transformed the Sherman Firefly into a potent tank destroyer, capable of holding its own against even the fearsome Tiger. These upgunned Sherman variants, while not always available in sufficient numbers, played a crucial role in countering the growing threat posed by German armored formations. Section 6. A five-man crew, the Sherman's human element. While the M4 Sherman's technical specifications and battlefield performance are undoubtedly important aspects of its story, it's crucial to remember that this iconic tank was ultimately operated by a five-man crew, each member playing a vital role in its operation and effectiveness. The Sherman's crew consisted of a commander, gunner, loader, driver, and assistant driver or bow gunner, each man working in close coordination with the others in the cramped and often chaotic confines of the tank's interior. The commander, responsible for directing the tank's movements and engaging targets, occupied the turret, utilizing a cupola and periscopes to observe the battlefield and issue orders. The gunner, positioned beside the commander, was responsible for aiming and firing the main gun, relying on his training and the tank's sights to acquire and engage enemy targets. The loader, often working in a cramped and physically demanding position, was responsible for keeping the gun supplied with ammunition, a task that could become frantic during intense combat. The driver, located at the front left of the hull, controlled the Sherman's speed and direction, relying on a limited view of the battlefield through a small hatch and periscopes. The assistant driver or bow gunner, positioned beside the driver, operated the hull-mounted machine gun, and assisted the driver as needed. The Sherman's 5-man crew, a microcosm of the larger war effort, relied on teamwork, skill, and a healthy dose of courage to operate their tank effectively in the face of enemy fire. Section 7. On the Move. Mobility and Maneuverability. In the realm of armored warfare, mobility is a weapon in itself, allowing tanks to exploit breakthroughs, outmaneuver opponents, and seize the initiative on the battlefield. The M4 Sherman, with its respectable speed and agility, excelled in this regard, proving to be a highly mobile platform capable of keeping pace with advancing infantry and exploiting gaps in enemy lines. Powered by its 400 horsepower engine, the Sherman could achieve a top speed of 25 to 30 miles per hour on roads, a respectable figure for a tank of its size and weight. While its cross-country performance was more modest, the Sherman's relatively low ground pressure and well-designed tracks allowed it to navigate a variety of terrains, from the rolling hills of France to the muddy battlefields of Italy. The Sherman's mobility was a significant advantage over some of its heavier German counterparts, such as the Tiger and Panther, which, while boasting superior armor and firepower, were often hampered by their weight and complex mechanical systems. The Sherman's ability to move quickly and decisively allowed Allied commanders to exploit breakthroughs, outflank enemy positions, and maintain a high tempo of operations, a crucial factor in the mobile warfare that characterized the later stages of World War II. The Sherman's mobility, coupled with its reliability and ease of maintenance, made it a valuable asset to Allied forces, allowing them to maintain the initiative and keep the pressure on the enemy. Section 8. The Sherman's suspension, adapting to the terrain. The ability to traverse a variety of terrains from paved roads to muddy fields and shell-cratered landscapes is crucial for any tank, and the M4 Sherman suspension system played a vital role in its ability to adapt to the challenges of the battlefield. Early Sherman models were equipped with a vertical volute spring suspension, or VVSS system, a relatively simple and robust design that utilized vertical coil springs to absorb shocks and provide a comfortable ride for the crew. The VVSS system, while adequate for many situations, had its limitations, particularly when it came to traversing rough terrain at higher speeds. The vertical orientation of the springs, while providing a relatively smooth ride on flat surfaces, tended to transmit shocks and vibrations to the hull when the tank encountered bumps or obstacles, limiting its speed and maneuverability. To address these limitations, later Sherman models were fitted with a horizontal volute spring suspension, or HVSS system, a significant improvement that greatly enhanced the tank's off-road performance. The HVSS system utilized horizontally mounted coil springs, a design that provided greater travel and better absorbed shocks from uneven terrain. The result was a smoother ride, improved cross-country speed, and reduced wear and tear on the tank's components. The HVSS system, combined with wider tracks, significantly enhanced the Sherman's ability to operate in muddy or challenging conditions, a crucial advantage in the often unpredictable battlefields of Europe. The Sherman's suspension, a testament to the constant evolution of wartime engineering, played a key role in its ability to adapt to a variety of environments and fulfill its diverse roles on the battlefield. Section 9. Versatility, the hallmark of the Sherman. One of the most remarkable aspects of the M4 Sherman's design was its inherent versatility, its ability to serve as a platform for a wide array of modifications and specialized variants, adapting to the ever-changing demands of the battlefield. The Sherman's chassis, a testament to American engineering ingenuity, provided a solid foundation for a remarkable diversity of vehicles, each tailored to a specific tactical role. From tank destroyers armed with high-velocity guns to self-propelled artillery pieces capable of delivering devastating barrages, the Sherman's adaptability knew few bounds. One of the most famous Sherman variants was the British Firefly, a testament to Allied collaboration and a potent weapon in the fight against German armor. The Firefly, armed with the British 17-pounder anti-tank gun, possessed the firepower to engage even the heavily armored Tiger tanks at respectable ranges, providing a much-needed counter to the growing threat posed by German armored formations. Another notable variant was the Sherman Crocodile, a fearsome weapon deployed in the European theater. Equipped with a flamethrower in place of its hull-mounted machine gun, the Crocodile could unleash a torrent of fire, incinerating enemy positions and clearing out entrenched infantry with terrifying effectiveness. The Sherman's chassis also served as the basis for specialized engineering vehicles, such as the Sherman Crab mine-clearing tank. The Crab, equipped with a rotating drum fitted with chains, could clear paths through minefields, allowing infantry and other vehicles to advance safely. The Sherman's versatility, a testament to its adaptable design and the ingenuity of Allied engineers, made it a truly multi-role platform, capable of fulfilling a remarkable range of tasks on the battlefield. The M4 Sherman's baptism of fire came amid the swirling sands and unforgiving heat of the North African campaign, a theater of war that would test the tank's mettle and shape its destiny. The vast open deserts of North Africa, seemingly tailor-made for mobile warfare, became a proving ground for the Sherman, pitting it against the battle-hardened panzers of Rommel's Afrika Korps. The Sherman's arrival in North Africa in late 1942 marked a turning point in the campaign, bolstering the Allied forces and providing a much-needed counter to the German armored threat. The Sherman's debut in North Africa was not without its challenges. The harsh desert environment, with its extreme temperatures, fine sand, and limited logistical infrastructure, tested the tank's reliability and the resilience of its crews. The desert heat could be oppressive, turning the Sherman's interior into an oven, while the fine sand played havoc with engines, tracks, and weapons systems. Logistical challenges were ever present, with supply lines stretching for hundreds of miles across unforgiving terrain. Despite these obstacles, the Sherman quickly proved its worth in the North African theater, its mobility, firepower, and reliability giving the Allies a crucial edge in the fight against Rommel's forces. The Sherman's arrival coincided with a period of renewed Allied offensive operations as British and American forces, bolstered by fresh troops and equipment, sought to drive the Germans out of North Africa and secure a foothold on the European continent. The Second Battle of El Alamein marked a turning point in the North African campaign and served as the M4 Sherman's true baptism by fire. Fought over 20 days in October and November 1942, it pitted the British 8th Army against Rommel's Afrika Korps near El Alamein. The Sherman, though not yet in large numbers, played a crucial role in the Allied victory. Its 75mm gun proved effective against the Panzer III and I-5 tanks. El Alamein marked the beginning of the Sherman's journey to becoming a symbol of Allied armored might. With the Allied victory in North Africa, the focus shifted to Europe, where the M4 Sherman faced new challenges in Italy. The Italian campaign was a grueling struggle characterized by mountainous terrain, narrow roads, and fierce German resistance. The Sherman's mobility was often hampered by the terrain, but it remained a valuable asset. Its 75mm gun was effective against German fortifications and infantry positions. The Sherman's versatility was showcased in Italy, adapted for roles like flamethrower tanks and bridge layers. The Normandy landings of June 6, 1944, marked a turning point in World War II. The Bocage countryside of Normandy tested the Sherman's limits, forcing Allied tankers to adapt their tactics. The hedgerows created a formidable defensive network, ideal for ambushing enemy armor. Despite its challenges, the Sherman played a crucial role in the Normandy campaign. Its reliability and sheer numbers allowed the Allies to maintain constant pressure on German defenses. American tankers adapted their M4 Shermans to the challenging terrain of Normandy, giving birth to the Sherman Rhino. Utilizing scrap metal, they welded large prongs onto the front of their Shermans to rip through dense hedgerows. The Rhino modification allowed Shermans to breach hedgerows with ease, reducing vulnerability to ambushes. It became a game-changer in the bockage, showcasing American ingenuity. The Sherman Rhino symbolized adaptability and determination in the face of adversity. The Western Front often witnessed clashes between the M4 Sherman and its German counterparts, the Panther and the Tiger. The Panther and Tiger tanks boasted superior armor and firepower. The Sherman's strengths lay in its reliability, mobility, and sheer numbers. The United States produced Shermans at an astounding rate, flooding the battlefields of Europe with these armored workhorses. The M4 Sherman also played a significant role on the Eastern Front, supplied to the Soviet Union through the Lend-Lease program. The Sherman was well received by many Red Army tankers for its reliability and ease of maintenance. Its 75mm gun was effective against many German tanks at closer ranges. The Sherman's arrival coincided with renewed Soviet offensives, pushing the Germans back towards Berlin. The Sherman provided much-needed firepower and mobility in the fight against the Wehrmacht. The Pacific theater presented unique challenges for armored warfare, which the M4 Sherman rose to meet. The island-hopping campaign demanded mobility, firepower, and the ability to operate in close quarters. The Sherman proved adaptable to the Pacific environment, supporting infantry advances and exploiting breakthroughs. Its 75mm gun was effective against enemy infantry and light vehicles. The Sherman's versatility was showcased in specialized roles like flamethrower tanks and amphibious tanks. The Sherman Crocodile, a flamethrower tank, unleashed a torrent of liquid fire, incinerating enemy positions. The Crocodile replaced the Sherman's hull-mounted machine gun with a fuel tank and a projector. This fearsome weapon had a range of up to 120 yards, engulfing enemy positions in fire. The Crocodile's psychological impact was significant, breaking enemy morale. It proved invaluable in clearing out bunkers and trenches, reducing Allied casualties. The M4 Sherman's combat history is a testament to its adaptability, reliability, and the courage of its crews. From North Africa to Normandy and the Pacific, the Sherman proved versatile and dependable. Its strengths, ease of production, maintainability, and adaptability, were crucial to the Allied victory. The Sherman's true legacy lies in its contribution to the larger Allied war effort. It provided the Allies with a reliable tank that could be produced in vast numbers, overwhelming their enemies. The M4 Sherman story is ultimately a human story of the men who fought and died inside those steel cocoons. The Sherman's crew, 5 men working in close proximity, relied on each other for survival. They shared the cramped space, the fear, and the exhilaration of combat. Many Sherman crews fought bravely, enduring unimaginable hardships. The Sherman story is a reminder of the human experiences behind every battlefield victory or defeat. The M4 Sherman tank, a symbol of American industrial might and a workhorse of the Allied war effort, has been the subject of enduring debate and scrutiny, its reputation forever intertwined with the fiery demise that often befell those who dared to crew these rolling fortresses. The Sherman's legacy is a complex one, a tapestry woven from tales of heroism, resilience, and innovation, but also shadowed by the grim reality of battlefield losses and the fiery deaths that haunted the nightmares of many a tanker. The Sherman's fiery reputation, while often exaggerated, was not entirely unfounded. Early models, particularly those deployed in the early stages of the war, suffered from a critical design flaw: ammunition storage vulnerabilities that, when exploited by enemy fire, could turn the tank into a raging inferno, consuming both machine and crew in a deadly conflagration. The Sherman's tendency to burn, while a source of anxiety for its crews and a propaganda coup for the enemy, was not unique to this particular tank. Armored warfare by its very nature is a dangerous business, and all tanks of the era, regardless of their origin or design, were susceptible to catching fire when hit in vulnerable areas. The Sherman's misfortune, perhaps, was that its fiery demise was often captured in graphic detail by photographers and newsreel cameramen, those chroniclers of war whose images shaped public perception and fueled the flames of controversy. The M4 Sherman's unfortunate nickname, Ronson, a reference to a popular brand of cigarette lighter known for its reliable ignition, has become synonymous with the tank's perceived tendency to burst into flames when hit. The Ronson moniker, while undoubtedly catchy and evocative of the Sherman's fiery demise, is an oversimplification of a more nuanced reality, a testament to the power of wartime propaganda and the enduring nature of battlefield myths. While it's true that early Sherman models suffered from ammunition storage vulnerabilities that increased the risk of catastrophic fires, this issue was largely addressed in later versions of the tank, thanks to the tireless efforts of American engineers and the feedback received from battle-tested tankers. The Ronson myth, while rooted in the grim reality of battlefield losses, ignores the Sherman's overall survivability rate, which was comparable to, if not better than, other tanks of its era, including some of its more celebrated German counterparts. The Sherman's crew survivability rate, a more accurate measure of a tank's ability to protect its occupants, was actually quite high, thanks in part to its relatively spacious interior, well-placed hatches, and crucially, the spring-loaded ammunition stowage introduced in later models. Recognizing the severity of the Sherman's ammunition fire problem, American engineers embarked on a relentless pursuit of solutions, a testament to their ingenuity and dedication to improving the safety and survivability of the men who crewed these armored beasts. Their efforts culminated in the development and implementation of wet storage, a relatively simple yet remarkably effective design modification that significantly reduced the risk of catastrophic ammunition fires, transforming the Sherman from a fiery liability into a more resilient and dependable weapon platform. Wet storage, as its name suggests, involved storing the Sherman's ammunition in compartments surrounded by water jackets. These jackets, typically filled with a mixture of water and antifreeze to prevent freezing in colder climates, acted as a heat sink, absorbing the heat and energy generated by an impact or a nearby explosion. The principle behind wet storage was elegantly simple. Water, with its high specific heat capacity, can absorb a significant amount of heat energy before its temperature rises significantly. By surrounding the ammunition with water jackets, the engineers created a buffer, a thermal barrier that significantly reduced the likelihood of the ammunition reaching its auto-ignition temperature, even when subjected to the intense heat of an enemy shell's impact. The clash between the American M4 Sherman and its German counterparts, the Panther and the Tiger, is often portrayed as a David and Goliath struggle, a contest between American industrial might and German engineering prowess. While it's true that the Panther and Tiger, with their superior armor protection and firepower, often held the upper hand in one-on-one engagements, the reality of armored warfare, particularly on the vast battlefields of Europe, was far more nuanced than a simple comparison of technical specifications. The Sherman, while not as individually formidable as its German adversaries, possessed a crucial advantage: numbers. The United States, with its vast industrial capacity and its commitment to mass production, could churn out Shermans at an astounding rate, flooding the battlefields of Europe with these armored workhorses, while the Germans, hampered by resource constraints and strategic bombing, struggled to produce their more complex and expensive tanks in sufficient quantities. This disparity in numbers had a profound impact on the course of the war. The Allies, with their seemingly endless supply of Shermans, could afford to take risks, to launch bold offensives, and to absorb losses that would have crippled the German armored forces. The Sherman's reliability, ease of maintenance, and adaptability further amplified its numerical advantage. While German tanks were often plagued by mechanical issues and logistical nightmares, the Sherman, with its standardized parts and its reputation for being soldier-proof, could be repaired quickly and kept running, even in the most demanding conditions. The M4 Sherman, far from being a static design frozen in time, was a constantly evolving weapon platform, its development driven by the lessons learned on the battlefield and the need to counter the ever-changing threats posed by the enemy. One of the most significant aspects of the Sherman's evolution was the steady improvement of its firepower, as Allied ordnance experts sought to give their tankers a fighting chance against the increasingly heavily armored German panzers. The Sherman's initial 75mm gun, while adequate for engaging earlier German tank models and providing effective fire support for infantry, proved to be increasingly outmatched as the war progressed and the Germans introduced the Panther and Tiger tanks, with their thicker armor and more powerful guns. The Sherman's 75mm gun, while accurate and reliable, simply lacked the punch to penetrate the frontal armor of these new German behemoths at longer ranges. To address this firepower gap, later Sherman variants were armed with more potent guns, including the 76mm gun and, in the case of the British Firefly variant, the formidable 17-pounder anti-tank gun. The 76mm gun, with its higher muzzle velocity and improved armor penetration capabilities, significantly enhanced the Sherman's ability to engage heavier German tanks at longer ranges, giving American tankers a fighting chance in a tank duel. The M4 Sherman, while often judged solely on its ability to go toe-to-toe with German tanks in a duel, was never intended to be a lone wolf on the battlefield. The Sherman's true strength, a testament to American tactical doctrine and the evolving nature of warfare, lay in its integration into the combined arms team, a symphony of destruction that combined the firepower of tanks, infantry, artillery, and air power to overwhelm the enemy. The Sherman, with its mobility, reliability, and versatility, was ideally suited to the combined arms approach. It could operate effectively alongside infantry, providing mobile fire support, suppressing enemy strongpoints, and exploiting breakthroughs. Its relatively light weight compared to some of its heavier counterparts made it easier to integrate into infantry formations and to maneuver on the battlefield. The Sherman's firepower, while not always a match for the heavier German tanks, was still potent enough to engage a variety of targets, from enemy infantry and fortifications to lighter armored vehicles. Its 75mm gun, with its high explosive rounds, could be particularly effective against soft targets and entrenched positions, while its machine guns provided a valuable anti-personnel capability. The Sherman's role in the combined arms team extended beyond its direct combat capabilities. It could also serve as a reconnaissance platform, a command vehicle, or a mobile artillery observer, further enhancing the effectiveness of the Allied war machine. The M4 Sherman tank, a symbol of American industrial might, and a workhorse of the Allied war effort, possessed a remarkable ability to adapt and evolve its basic design, serving as a versatile platform for a bewildering array of modifications and specialized variants. The Sherman's Metamorphosis, driven by the exigencies of war and the ingenuity of engineers and battlefield improvisers, transformed this seemingly conventional tank into a true multi-role platform, capable of fulfilling a remarkable range of tasks on the ever-changing battlefields of World War II. The Sherman's adaptability stemmed from its relatively simple and modular design, a deliberate choice made by its creators to prioritize ease of production and maintenance. Its chassis, a robust and reliable platform, could be readily modified to accommodate a variety of weapon systems, equipment, and specialized gear, allowing the Sherman to take on roles far beyond its original design parameters. From tank destroyers armed with high-velocity guns to flamethrower tanks capable of incinerating enemy positions, the Sherman's variants showcase the ingenuity and adaptability of Allied engineers and the tank's versatility as a weapon platform. The Sherman's modifications were not limited to official factory conversions. On battlefields across the globe, from the hedgerows of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, tankers and mechanics, armed with welding torches, spare parts, and a healthy dose of ingenuity, created their own field modifications, adapting their Shermans to the specific challenges of their respective theaters of operation. Among the many Sherman variants developed during World War II, few were as celebrated or as feared as the British Firefly, a testament to Allied collaboration and a potent symbol of the Sherman's ability to evolve to meet the changing demands of the battlefield. The Firefly, born out of the urgent need to counter the growing threat posed by heavily armored German tanks like the Panther and Tiger, represented a significant upgrade to the Sherman's firepower, transforming it into a formidable tank destroyer capable of holding its own against the best the Germans could throw at it. The Firefly's most distinctive feature and the source of its potent sting was its main armament, the British Ordnance QF 17-pounder anti-tank gun, a weapon renowned for its exceptional armor penetration capabilities. The 17-pounder, originally designed for a larger, heavier tank that never materialized, was a tight fit into the Sherman's turret, requiring some modifications to the turret ring and the removal of the assistant driver's position to accommodate the gun's size and recoil. Despite these challenges, the marriage of the 17-pounder and the Sherman chassis proved to be a successful one. The Firefly, with its powerful gun and its relatively mobile platform, gave Allied tankers a much-needed edge in engagements against German armor, particularly at longer ranges where the Sherman's standard 75mm gun struggled to penetrate the Panther and Tiger's thick frontal armor. The Firefly's arrival on the battlefield was a morale booster for Allied tankers who had previously faced the German behemoths with a sense of dread. The Firefly, while not a silver bullet solution to the German armor threat, provided a valuable counterpunch, a testament to the power of Anglo-American cooperation and the Sherman's adaptability as a weapon platform. The M4 Sherman tank, a veteran of countless battles and a symbol of Allied victory in World War II, found new life and a lasting legacy in the hands of the Israel Defense Forces, a testament to the tank's enduring design and its adaptability to the changing face of warfare. In the decades following World War II, thousands of surplus Shermans, many of them veterans of the European and Pacific theaters, found their way to Israel, where they would play a pivotal role in the nation's struggle for survival. The IDF, facing a numerically superior and often better-equipped enemy, embraced the Sherman, recognizing its reliability, ease of maintenance, and adaptability as crucial assets in their fight for survival. The Sherman, christened the Sherman M50 in IDF service, became the backbone of Israel's armored forces, its desert tan paint scheme a stark contrast to its wartime olive drab. Recognizing the need to enhance the Sherman's firepower, Israeli ordnance experts embarked on a series of ambitious upgrade programs, culminating in the creation of the Super Sherman, a testament to Israeli ingenuity and the tank's ability to evolve. The Super Sherman, armed with the French-designed 75mm Model F1 gun, a high-velocity weapon capable of penetrating the armor of many Soviet-supplied tanks, gave the IDF a fighting chance against their numerically superior adversaries. Later versions of the Super Sherman were further upgraded with the even more potent 105mm Model F1 gun, transforming the Sherman into a formidable main battle tank capable of holding its own against more modern Soviet designs. The Super Sherman's combat debut during the 1956 Suez Crisis cemented its place in Israeli military history, its firepower and mobility proving decisive in several key engagements. The D-Day landings of June 6, 1944, a pivotal moment in World War II, presented Allied planners with a unique challenge: how to get tanks ashore in the face of heavily defended beaches and rough seas. The solution, a testament to wartime ingenuity and a vivid illustration of the Sherman's adaptability, came in the form of the DD Sherman, an amphibious tank capable of swimming to shore. Its name derived from the acronym Duplex Drive, a reference to its dual propulsion system. The DD Sherman, developed by the British and based on the standard Sherman chassis, was a marvel of engineering improvisation. Its most distinctive feature was its flotation screen, a collapsible canvas skirt that, when erected, transformed the tank into a makeshift boat, allowing it to float and propel itself through the water. The screen, made from a rubberized canvas material, was supported by a framework of metal struts and could be raised or lowered hydraulically. In addition to the flotation screen, the DD Sherman was equipped with a pair of propellers driven by the tank's main engine. These propellers, mounted on the rear of the hull, provided the thrust needed to propel the tank through the water at speeds of up to 4 knots. The DD Sherman, while not as maneuverable in the water as a dedicated landing craft, could still navigate relatively calm seas and reach the shore under its own power. The D.D. Sherman's debut on D-Day was met with mixed results. Rough seas and mechanical issues plagued some units, while others managed to reach the beaches successfully, providing much-needed fire support for the assaulting infantry. Despite its challenges, the D.D. Sherman represented a bold and innovative solution to a pressing tactical problem, a testament to the Sherman's adaptability and the ingenuity of Allied engineers. Section 5. The Sherman Crab clearing a path through minefields. Minefields, those silent but deadly obstacles of war, posed a significant threat to advancing troops and vehicles during World War II, their presence often slowing down offensives and inflicting heavy casualties. The Sherman, for all its versatility, was not immune to the dangers of mines, its tracks and underbelly vulnerable to the devastating explosions that could cripple or destroy even the most heavily armored vehicles. To address this threat, Allied engineers, drawing upon lessons learned in previous conflicts, developed a specialized variant of the Sherman Crab, a mine-clearing tank designed to clear paths through minefields, paving the way for infantry and other vehicles to advance safely. The Sherman Crab, a testament to the adaptability of the Sherman chassis and the ingenuity of wartime engineers, was a fearsome-looking yet remarkably effective machine. Its most distinctive feature was its mine-clearing device, a rotating drum fitted with heavy chains that flailed the ground ahead of the tank, detonating mines through impact or pressure. The drum, powered by a separate engine mounted on the front of the tank, could be raised or lowered hydraulically, allowing the operator to adjust the depth of the flailing chains to suit the terrain and the type of mines encountered. The Sherman Crab's crew, protected inside the tank's armored hull, could clear paths through minefields with relative safety, their efforts crucial in reducing casualties and maintaining the momentum of Allied offensives. The Sherman Crab's effectiveness in combat was undeniable. Its ability to clear paths through minefields, once a painstaking and dangerous task often assigned to infantry, saved countless lives and allowed Allied forces to maintain a high tempo of operations, a crucial factor in their eventual victory. Section 6. From Tank to Tank Destroyer, the M10 and Its Brethren. The M4 Sherman, while a versatile and capable tank, was not originally designed to engage enemy tanks in a head-to-head confrontation. Its primary role, as envisioned by American doctrine, was to support infantry advances, exploit breakthroughs, and engage in mobile warfare, not to duel with heavily armored behemoths like the German Tiger. However, as the war progressed and the Sherman encountered increasingly potent German armor, the need for a dedicated tank destroyer, a vehicle optimized for engaging and destroying enemy tanks, became readily apparent. To address this need, American ordnance experts, drawing upon lessons learned from the British and their experiences with tank destroyers, embarked on a program to develop a new breed of armored fighting vehicles, utilizing the reliable Sherman chassis as a starting point. The result of these efforts was a family of Sherman-based tank destroyers, each with its own unique characteristics and capabilities, but all sharing the common goal of hunting and destroying enemy tanks. One of the most successful and widely produced of these tank destroyers was the M10 Wolverine, a formidable machine armed with the potent 3-inch M7 gun, a high-velocity weapon capable of penetrating the armor of most German tanks at combat ranges. The Wolverine, with its powerful gun, its sloped armor, and its relatively mobile platform, proved to be a valuable asset to American armored units, providing a much-needed counter to the German Panther and Tiger tanks. Section 7. Battlefield Ingenuity, Field Modifications, and the Sherman's Adaptability. The M4 Sherman tank, a testament to American industrial might and a symbol of Allied resolve, was renowned not only for its versatility as a weapon platform, but also for its adaptability in the hands of the soldiers and mechanics who maintained and operated these armored workhorses on the front lines. On battlefields across the globe, from the hedgerows of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, the Sherman's design proved to be remarkably amenable to field modifications, those ingenious and often improvisational alterations made by tankers and mechanics to adapt their vehicles to the specific challenges of their respective theaters of operation. The Sherman's relatively simple and modular design, a deliberate choice made by its creators to prioritize ease of production and maintenance, proved to be a boon to battlefield improvisers. Its readily accessible engine compartment, its standardized parts, and its abundance of bolt-on armor plates made it a tinker's dream, a canvas upon which tankers could project their ingenuity and their desire to improve their chances of survival. Field modifications took many forms, ranging from the practical to the seemingly outlandish, each alteration reflecting the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the men who made them. One of the most common modifications involved adding extra armor protection, utilizing whatever materials were at hand, sandbags, logs, spare track links, even concrete, to bolster the Sherman's relatively thin armor. These ad hoc armor upgrades, while often unsightly, could mean the difference between life and death for a Sherman crew, providing an extra layer of protection against enemy fire. Other modifications focused on enhancing the Sherman's firepower. Some tankers, inspired by the British Firefly, sought to upgun their Shermans, swapping out the standard 75mm gun for more potent weapons salvaged from disabled tanks or supplied by Allied units. Others experimented with mounting additional machine guns, flamethrowers, or even rocket launchers on their Shermans, transforming them into veritable arsenals on tracks. Section 1. A symbol of Allied victory. The M4 Sherman tank, often overshadowed in popular imagination by its more heavily armed and armored German counterparts, stands as a testament to the power of industrial might, collaborative engineering, and the unwavering spirit of the Allied forces in World War II. The Sherman's journey, from its humble beginnings as a stopgap measure to its emergence as a ubiquitous symbol of Allied armored might, is a story of adaptation, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of victory against overwhelming odds. The Sherman's significance in the annals of military history cannot be overstated. It was the tank that spearheaded the Allied advance from the beaches of Normandy to the heart of the Third Reich, its rumbling presence a constant reminder of the overwhelming industrial might arrayed against Nazi Germany. While the Sherman may not have possessed the raw firepower or the impenetrable armor of its German adversaries, it compensated for these shortcomings with its reliability, its ease of maintenance, and its sheer numbers, flooding the battlefields of Europe with a mechanical tide that the Wehrmacht could not stem. The Sherman's adaptability, its ability to evolve and transform to meet the ever-changing demands of the battlefield, further solidified its legacy as a true multi-role platform. From tank destroyers to flamethrower tanks, from amphibious variants to mine-clearing behemoths, the Sherman's chassis proved to be a remarkably versatile foundation upon which engineers and battlefield improvisers could unleash their ingenuity. Section 2. The enduring legacy of the M4 Sherman. The M4 Sherman story didn't end with the Allied victory in 1945. Its legacy extended far beyond the battlefields of World War II, influencing tank design for decades to come, and leaving an indelible mark on popular culture. In the years following the war, thousands of surplus Shermans found their way to armies around the globe. Their familiar silhouettes, a common sight on battlefields from Korea to the Middle East, a testament to the tank's enduring design and its adaptability to a wide range of conflicts. The Sherman's influence on tank design can still be seen in many modern main battle tanks, a testament to the enduring relevance of its core principles. The Sherman's emphasis on reliability, maintainability, and crew survivability, often overlooked in favor of brute firepower and armor protection, became cornerstones of Western tank design philosophy, shaping the development of iconic vehicles like the American M1 Abrams and the German Leopard 2. The Sherman's legacy extends beyond the realm of military hardware. It has become a cultural icon, its distinctive silhouette instantly recognizable in countless films, books, and video games, a testament to its enduring place in our collective memory of World War II. From its starring role in classic war films like Saving Private Ryan, to its appearance in video games like Call of Duty and World of Tanks, the Sherman has captured the imaginations of generations, its story a reminder of the courage, sacrifice, and technological ingenuity that defined the Allied war effort. Section 3. A tank for the ages. The M4 Sherman tank, a product of its time, a testament to American industrial might, and a symbol of Allied resilience, stands as a timeless reminder that victory in war is not solely determined by the technological superiority of individual weapon systems, but by the ability to adapt, to innovate, and to harness the collective will of a nation united in a common cause. The Sherman, for all its perceived shortcomings, embodied these qualities, proving to be the right tank at the right time, a reliable and adaptable workhorse that played a pivotal role in liberating Europe from the grip of tyranny. The Sherman story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges through innovation, collaboration, and a steadfast determination to succeed. The Sherman's development, its mass production, and its deployment on battlefields across the globe were feats of engineering, logistics, and human endeavor, a testament to the collective efforts of millions of individuals who contributed to the Allied war effort. The Sherman's legacy serves as a reminder that the true measure of a weapon's effectiveness lies not solely in its destructive power, but in its ability to contribute to the larger goals of strategy, to support the men and women on the front lines, and to ultimately achieve the objectives set forth by those who wield the instruments of war. The Sherman, while not without its flaws, fulfilled this role admirably, proving to be a reliable, adaptable, and ultimately successful weapon in the hands of those who fought for freedom and democracy. The Sherman story is a story of triumph over adversity, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dared to fight for a better world, and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, human ingenuity, courage, and determination can